What's up, squad? Thank you so much for stopping by to check out another video here on the channel. As always, guys, you know the drill. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get alerted to all the new content drops here on the channel. But let's get to the action. All right, squad, before we get into today's topic, I just want to shout you guys out because we are almost to 800 subscribers here on the channel. Again, these are numbers I wasn't thinking imaginable when I started the channel, but here we are creeping up on 1,000 subscribers. So guys, again, I appreciate the love and support. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure you throw some comments in the videos. Let me know if there's some topics you want me to cover, any questions you have about the hobby. I'm more than happy to throw some more videos up here for you guys just to expand the knowledge here in the hobby for everybody across the board. But as always, guys, thank you so much for the love and support. Let's get into the topic. All right, guys, I don't know about you, but every day when I'm on social media, seeing posts all about the hobby, one common post I constantly see is people posting their card and asking, hey, what's the value of this card? What card is this? How can I find out how much it's worth? How much can I sell this for? So I figure, guys, let's fire off a video and let you know how you can find out the value of your cards. So guys, whether you're new to the hobby or have been in the hobby and are just overwhelmed by all the parallels and products that are out there, this video is for you. We're going to figure out how to identify your cards, how to find the value of your cards, talk about some of the things that might even affect the value of your cards, and of course, we'll go over that word that everyone tosses around, comps. All right, squad, so I'd say the first key thing to finding the value of your card is, of course, identifying your card. So this is, of course, figuring out the year and the brand and possible parallels of your card. So let's go over some ways to find out that information. So of course, the easiest way to find this information is if you're buying the pack yourself, wherever it may be, the box, the pack will tell you what you're buying. But if you're, say, at a card show, going through some dollar boxes, going through some cases, buying a card that you like, but then need some help after the fact to find out what that card is, here's some ways to find that out. So back in the day, of course, and the way it is now, is all this information is going to be on the back of the card. So, of course, you can look at the front of the card. There are some identifying factors. You can see this card is a Topps card. You can see the player, the team. But other than that, there's nothing else to really identify the year of this card. But if you flip the card over, on the bottom of every card, below the stats and any information about the player, you'll see these lines. Across different cards, even older cards like this Charles Barkley, the bottom line has the information about the card. So this one here, this Junior Caminero, down at the bottom, it's going to tell you that it's a 2024 Topps card. So there you go, that you know that, hey, this Junior Caminero is a 2024 Topps. It's a base card. And then, of course, if you want to double check, you can see the card numbers here as well. A good way to, of course, if you're not sure, double check that information is either throw it into Google or throw it into eBay and verify that the card that pops up in the image search matches this card that you have in your hand. Now, there are circumstances where you have some companies who are joined. So Bowman, you get a Bowman baseball card, you see, okay, hey, there's this B on it and a chrome. But if you're unfamiliar with baseball or Bowman, you might not know that's their logo. And you flip the back over, you see, oh, Topps. Hey, maybe this is a Topps Chrome, some kind of B, some Topps Chrome B. But if you read a little further, you'll see that this says Topps and Bowman Chrome. So make sure you read completely, because that first line where it says the Topps company or whatever might be also partnered. That's kind of the overarching company that Bowman's a part of. So make sure you read completely. You'll see the Bowman Chrome. You'll see, oh, B Chrome must be Bowman Chrome. So that's another way you can help identify the cards. Also, even though kind of Panini's moving a little bit out of the hobby, they're still going to make cards, but they are losing their license. One thing that I have liked about their cards in helping identify is that they put that right on the card. So you see this card, it's a Keon White rookie card, but it doesn't have any identifying features, no Topps branding or anything like that like we saw on the other cards. It just has this logo. So that logo has no way to kind of figure out what it is. But Panini's nice about it, and they put it right here at the bottom. If you flip it over, look at the bottom, you're gonna see 2023 Panini Phoenix Football. So when you wanna look up this card in your checklist, you'll look up 2023 Panini Phoenix, Keon White, number 164. You'll see it there. And then, of course, this card is numbered, so we'll get into that when we talk about serial numbers. Now, guys, one of the best ways to find out what your card is to utilize a checklist. So every set of cards comes out with a checklist. This tells you, what's in the set, what the inserts are, what are in those inserts, as well as the serial number cards, all the parallels. So that's where you're going to be able to gather the most information about your card. The best source to use, in my opinion, is going to be Beckett. They used to, of course, make their magazines that I would go through as a kid to help search value. They've now transitioned that online, where you can now utilize their web features and go through every new product, and they'll tell you the whole checklist. Of course, when a new product drops, it does take a little while for the checklist to get up. So if you are ripping something that's brand new, it might be harder to find that checklist off the jump, but eventually it will be there in the coming days. But if you have a product that's not as new, definitely hop on and utilize the checklist to find out what you have. So let's go through a couple examples and pop over to Beckett right now. All right, squad. So like I said, when you want to look up your checklist, just hop on to Google. So one thing I didn't say in the last one with the Topps and the Junior Caminero is that it's a Series 2 card. So sometimes Topps, they'll release cards throughout the year. So they have like Series 1, Series 2, and then they'll do an update series. So on the card, it will say what it is. So for the fact, just for that quick clerical error there. So put that in there. You'll see the checklist will pop up. You want to look for Beckett. There's Beckett right there. So all the checklist pages will look similar to this. It'll have kind of a breakdown of the card itself, updates for the series, some of the parallels you'll encounter, some pictures of them, some different themes and other parallels they might have this year as well. Just basically just a quick rundown. So the key things that I would look for, the main area that I always go down here to the bottom, and here where it says checklist, it has these categories. So you'll see that basically they break the checklist through, the base cards, the variations of the base, autograph cards, memorabilia, inserts, and then team sets, which we'll get into at the end. So here's going to be your base checklist. And again, all the parallels for the card are here. So say you get that Junior Caminero and it's got an aqua border. You see, hey, that's the aqua parallel, which are only available in Fanatics boxes. You'll see that they do specify where you can pull these parallels from. You'll see some are only in blaster packs, some are retail, some are hobby only, jumbo only. So whatever it may be, you'll see kind of just some details there. And then again, down here as you scroll, you'll see these slashes with the serial numbers. So these serial numbers indicate how many of that card were produced. So similar to that Keon White, you'll see they have a red foil that's out of 199. So that means that there was 199 of those cards produced. These other ones up here, you'll see aqua that are one in per box. Those are mass produced. So there aren't any real restrictions on how many were made. There'll be thousands of them versus, the 799, 76, whatever it may be. You'll see that they'll have those variation cards, which are short prints. So they won't be numbered, but there are limited quantities of them, maybe like 500, 1,000. Sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't. They just clarify them as, SP or super short print, which is SSP. So if you go down, we saw that Junior Caminero is card 628. All the card numbers are listed here. So you want to go scroll all the way down, check their card number 628. You see, boom, Junior Caminero, Tampa Bay Rays rookie card. So that just kind of confirms that for you. So you know that card is a 2024 Topps Series 2 Junior Caminero rookie card. So guys, like I said, they have these different categories up here. You'll see, so variations, these are the different variations they have of the base cards. You can go through and see that each of these will have a different picture that are on the cards. So here's just the checklist. So we'll have the same card number, it's just the image will be different. So that's something to look for. All these cards are short printed cards, so they aren't going to be numbered, but they are rare cards. And you'll go over, you'll see here are the different autographs. So because of Acuna last year, he has his own autograph checklist here with the 40/70 cards. And again, they'll tell you if there are any parallels to that auto. So say you pull one of the 89 Topps baseball autographs, but you see yours has a black border versus the normal white border. You can see that the black borders are numbered out of 199, so it should be serial numbered as well. And then you see that there's 3 other variations with the gold, red, and platinum. You see this 101 number here. That means that there's only one of those cards in existence. So if you ever see that 101, you know that that's a super rare card, the only one that exists, and you can pretty much control the market on that card. But again, you can scroll right through. This is the whole autograph checklist. Typically, you'll see inserts that'll be similar. Memorabilia and inserts will kind of have the same. So you see that same 40/40 checklist here. These ones just don't have the auto. So again, the parallels will be listed here along with those. And then memorabilia, sometimes they're similar with the 89 Topps. You might see some similarities across the board with the autographs, memorabilia, and inserts, but then some of them might be a little bit different. And again, you see the parallels and card numbers listed there. Now, the last great thing about having the checklist here through Beckett is if you're ever involved in a break, so say you hop into a Topps Series 2 2024 break, and you're looking at the teams, because typically they're going to be, you purchase the team, you get all the cards from that team. So say you're looking at the Red Sox, you're like, oh, I wonder what cards I can pull for the Red Sox. It takes you right to it, and then through all those categories we saw at the top with the base, variation, autos, so on and so forth, they show you what cards in those categories are available for the team. So you see here are all the base cards, the 1989 Topps inserts, the all-star inserts, here are the autographs, and all the way through. So you can see, okay, it looks like the Red Sox have a lot of different cards. Maybe they're worth the value of whatever it is. You can see there's some 101s available with them as well. So this is a great way if you're ever in a break and looking at some teams, and if there's value there for purchasing, pop into the checklist, just see overall what there is. If there's, a lot of autos, that shows good value. Sometimes different teams, like maybe you jump into the Nationals, you see their list might not be as robust as, say, the Red Sox is. You see like only a few different categories, few inserts versus some of those bigger teams, which of course the prices will dictate based on, the cards that will be available and, the opportunity you have to pull those cards. Now, one thing that has been popping off in the hobby, of course, is parallel cards. I think for this year's Prism basketball with Wembanyama's rookie card, they had something like 80 or 90 different parallels of different cards. So it's getting a little wild out there with parallels. But again, guys, utilize the checklist that we talked about to help you identify these parallels. But let's go over a couple things to help you identify parallels as well. So let's talk a little bit about serial numbers as well with parallels here. So I showed you the Keon White card we talked about earlier in identifying cards. So this card is numbered. So you're gonna have some cards with it, you'll see it back, it's imprinted either on the back of the card, sometimes on the front. It can be hard to see, so make sure you're looking at the card thoroughly to see if the card's numbered. All of them will have some kind of variation to it. It's not gonna be like a base card that'll have numbered. At least there'll be like a different border, something about it that'll make it unique to indicate that it's potentially numbered. So look on the card, you'll see this card is number 199. So if you refer back to the checklist, we'll put it here. You'll scroll down and you'll look and see that this card is a red seismic Keon White rookie card based off of the checklist that we've talked about before. Now, guys, this is one key thing that you need to know with serial numbers. Now, there are, of course, we showed the serial number, but with older cards, with inserts, they did blank of blank. So if I grab this, so Ken Griffey Jr. Rawhide. So this is a Rawhide insert from 96 Fleer Ultra. And they're also good about putting that right on the front there. But on the back, if you look, it says 4 of 10. Now, this card isn't serial number 4 out of 10. There's not only 10 of these in the world. This is number 4 of 10. So this is an insert set of 10 different cards, and the Ken Griffey Jr. is number 4 of 10 in that series. So again, if you utilize the checklist, you can go back and you can see that that's the case. But Some people get confused and they get these older, 90s cards where it's like this and they go, oh my God, I have a 4 of 10 Ken Griffey Jr. card. I can't imagine how much this card is worth. That isn't the case, guys. This is just strictly a base card of this insert, and the card number is 4 of 10. It is not a serial number like the Keon White where it's 139 of 199. So make sure, nowadays, like this with Ethan Salas, it just says for the insert is PP11. They stopped really putting that blank of blank just to avoid any confusion. But no, with the 90s inserts especially, you're going to see the inserts are, a number of a number. But again, that is just the card number of the set, and these are the number of cards in the set. It isn't just a 4 of 10 Ken Griffey Jr. So make sure you know that, guys. Now, guys, one thing when determining the value of your card, you're going to see the word comps thrown around. So this word literally just means what are the comparable prices of this card's prior sales to today, to help you determine that value. And the best way to find out comps is to utilize a website called 130point.com. So let's pop over there and I'm going to show you guys how to use it.
All right, squad. So you'll go to whatever you use, Google, just type 130point.com in your search bar, and that'll bring you to the website here. So basically what 130point does is it filters and pulls all the eBay sales and kind of gives them to you in a nice list. So what you're going to want to do is search eBay sales here. All right, guys. So once that pops up here, it's kind of moving epically slow. But this is the search bar here where you want to search the card. So once you've identified the card that you want to search the value of, so say again, it's that Junior Caminero 2024 Topps Series 2 Junior Caminero. And I always throw the card number in there because again, it might just pull other ones, Top Series 1, if there's updates, whatever it may be. So I always throw the card number in there. And it will search and search. It might pull up some graded ones, whatever it may be, parallels. So you can see here, this will pop up, and basically what it's showing you is all the different cards that will pop up for that price. So you can see here that the last one of the card we had, it looks like it was listed for 99 cents and then accepted an offer of 50 cents. And that sale date was on November 5th, 2024. And so all these listings will be by date. So whatever you're looking through and you see the card that you're looking for, the most recent one will be on top. And then you can kind of roll through and see if any other ones sold. Here's another one that's sold on the 4th for 150. So again, gather all the different, information you can have here at your disposal to kind of figure out the value of the one card that you have. And then again here, guys, try and be as specific as you can. So of course, say, you want to look up the value of the PSA 10. Say, again, this is maybe you're looking for cards to purchase. You want to see, hey, there's one on eBay listed for whatever the dollar amount may be. Let me see what the last one that sold for. So here you go. Here's the different listings. So, we talked about that Aqua Junior Caminero we see here. Last one sold for $22. Now you can see here, this one sold at auction. So in 8 bids for $22. And then you see some of the other ones where it just had that sale price. So this person had it listed for $30, sold for $30. So you can see when you're comparing prices, you might see that auction ones might go a little bit lower than perhaps the one that sold, off an offer price. So again, just use all the information you can gather here to find the value of your card, whether you're keeping it for yourself for now or trying to flip it. Use 130point here at your disposal. Identify your card, come here, plug it into the search bar, as much detail as you can, card number, if it's graded, all that information, and then it should spit out all the different recent sales for you. Again, you want some of the rarer cards. So say we look up that Keon White. There we go. So because I know the parallel off the checklist, I'll just put that in. You can put in, slash out of 199 as well. And then you can see some of the, with it being out of 199, there might not be a lot of recent sales. So you see last one was October 3rd. There was one on October 3rd as well. I think that might have been the one that I bought actually. And then right before it, there was one on the 16th. So with those cards that are numbered, it might be a little bit more sporadic with, the recent sales. So you see out of 10, this one last sold in August 16th. So you'll see sometimes it just gives you the different variations below. If it kind of pulls what you have, you might see some other ones below as well. So again, guys, just use as much info as you can gather from 130 point to, help determine your value.
All right, squad. So now once you've looked up your card in 130point.com, there are two key things to look for to help determine your value. To me, those things are, of course, the date sold and, of course, the price it's sold for. Now, under each listing, of course, you'll see here, it's going to show the date sold. So, of course, the most recent sales are going to show you kind of what the value is today. Of course, more rarer cards, you're not going to see as many common recent sales. You might have, one from this week, maybe one from a couple months ago. Again, the more rare the card, the fewer sales you're going to have to really compare the price to. So in those situations where you do have a card that maybe is lower serial numbered, something like that, where you can't determine the price of that exact card, search that player's maybe cards across the board of that serial number. So say you have a Topps that's numbered out of 50, look up that player and see what his other cards out of 50 are, and kind of that can help determine the value of the card. So you might not have that specific card, but that player's cards out of 50 generally sell for this price. And of course, price sold speaks for itself. That's going to tell you what the value of the card is in that moment, that day. If it's a sale today, then hey, that card's selling for $20 today. So that would be the value I'd give it today. If it's a sale from a few months ago and then the player's gotten hot, I'd say, you can value it a little bit higher. The player's gotten cold, maybe value it a little bit lower. Of course, squad, there are going to be some factors that will affect a card's value when you're looking to sell it. The first one being the player's performance. So if the player's having a hot month, hot year, you're going to see those cards go up in value. So if you have some cards with a player that's, on a hot streak, broke a record, something like that, their market will be up. So look to sell during those times. Another factor that will affect the sales of your cards are whether your sport is in season. So if you look at this chart here, it'll tell you kind of the market trends of when to buy and sell. Of course, in season sports, you're going to see, right now it's football, basketball, hockey season. So those cards will be, more in demand, have higher price values right now, where stuff like baseball will have lower market points than maybe it was selling a couple months ago. So if you are, looking to sell baseball cards, maybe hold until the new season starts. Likewise, with any of the other sports, you're going to have a better chance to sell that card when that sport is in season. And, of course, lastly, off the field issues, of course, can affect a player's value. If run into a Wander Franco situation, you can have a player's market just drop overnight. So you always got to be weary of things like that. Also, another, morbid thing is if a player dies. You had Bill Walton passed away last year, so of course his market went up in the days following his passing. So those are always times to sell as well. Lastly, guys, so how should you determine what to value your card at? So of course, use all the things we talked about in this video. Use your comps with 130point.com. See what the recent sales are of that card, and what the prices have been, whether they've fluctuated and have a big gap between them. Know how that player's performance has been. Are they coming off a hot season? Are they cold? Anything like that, again, will affect the value of the card. But lastly, it's going to just come down to what are you comfortable you know, selling that card at if you're going to sell the card. That's kind of how you can value it. So, you know, you might see some higher price points, but if it's a card you're not personally attached to and are looking to just kind of move it, feel free to go 10, 20, you know, whatever that price point is, give yourself a 10% discount and then look to sell it maybe around that price. Usually you look to, I think a lot of people are comfortable paying 80%. You know, some people say 75 to 80, 85% of comps is what people like to pay for cards that you're looking to sell. There are chances where it can sell for a little bit higher. You have a lot of people who are doing repacks on services like Whatnot or Fanatics. So they are paying a little bit higher price points just because they are selling that for a higher cost, because they are having, you know, ceilings and floors with these mystery pack shows. So they have some more wiggle room to be able to pay higher prices off the comps. All right, squad, that'll do it for this video. I hope all the topics we covered were informative for you as you try to determine the value of your cards moving forward. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them down below. I'm always interacting with you guys in the comments section. Of course, guys, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get alerted to all the new content drops here on the channel. Of course, if you haven't yet, go follow us on Instagram as well. We're posting some stuff over there, as well as the TikTok. I'll throw that up there. I've been a little light, but we'll get it going again here shortly. But again, guys, appreciate all the love and support, and I'm going to get to editing.